Test. The audio is a test. Make sure the audio from our mic is working down the string. Slye joined by Davis Hagen. We'll be back for kickoff soon for this Pac-12 championship matchup.
This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low. And he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He does it! Get it! He stuffs it to line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
What a play! What a tail by Bruce Hatt.
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Cougs on the board with less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs.
And now, on to the game.
$122 years, 109 all-time matchups, and 2,115 total points. The Cougs own the all-time record with 57 wins, 49 losses, and only 3 ties in recent years. Then the Beavers, standing atop the dam, looking down at the Cougars, drowning below. The Beavs are 2-0 in the Pac-2 era. That age of Wazoo football is coming to an end. Tonight, both teams prepare to join the new look Pac-12. This matchup tonight marks the last time these programs square off in this conference limbo, and they cannot pick a better place for a better send-off in this Pac-12 championship game. Piece of field in Martin Stadium on the Palouse on senior nights, and on the last game of head coach Jimmy Rogers' first year in the Crimson and Gray. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Smith. Slye. I'm joined by my broadcast partner Davis Hagen in the broadcast booth today, along with Nathan Eshelman, sideline reporting for us today. You're listening to Cougar football on KUGR Cougar College Radio. And Davis, as we move into this matchup, like I mentioned, it's the last game of the first season of Jimmy Rogers' regime with the Cougs. What has been the first impressions of Rogers on Palouse?
Yeah, not a bad first season on Palouse for Jimmy Rogers. It's been a mixed bag so far this year. Cougars are 5-6. They need one win to get to a bowl game, and they waited until the last possible game to get that done. Not exactly where you want to be, but also it could be like Oregon State. 2-9 and be completely out of the picture at this point in the year, hiring a new coach. So I think for Washington State, you got to take everything kind of as a holistic thing. With Jimmy Rogers coming in, 75 new players, 16,000 miles to travel this year to road games, independent schedule, 10 different conferences in it. It is an incredible feat to get this team to be competing for a bowl game. There are so many teams that would love to be in the shoes of Washington State right now across the country, fighting for a chance for a bowl game. We saw it yesterday. Mississippi State had Ole Miss on the ropes in the first half. They're 5-7 now. They're done. They don't have a chance for a bowl game. Washington State playing a tough opponent in the Oregon State Beavers. You got the chance to go get a bowl game. But the seniors want. There's 25 of them here being honored today at East Field. There's so many things that are up in the air. And overall, Jimmy Rogers has done a good job to get Washington State to this point. And then that schedule has been really tough. Those 10 different conferences. They played so many talented offense. Number 1 offense in the country in North Texas. They got destroyed by North Texas, but that was a team. You didn't really expect them to be a college football playoff contender coming into this year. Played the 13th best offense in Ole Miss, took them down to the wire. 18th ranked offense, James Madison took them down to the wire. 19th ranked offense, Washington. 28th ranked offense in Virginia. And the only team that they played so far that wasn't in the top 30 that I just mentioned, it's on number 37, is Toledo. And that team, they held them to 7 points. So that's really a testament to this defense that has kept this team in the games. And it's been up and down season. But overall, I would say positive in the first for Jimmy Rogers. Now, next year will be the big question to see if he really belongs here on the Blues and at the FBS level. Only his 3rd year as a head coach, so he's got a lot to figure out, and a chance for bowl games today and a Pac-12 championship.
Of course, again, like you mentioned, the Cougs have played some really tough opponents so far this year. The games that Cougs fans really care about, it's got the Apple Cup, and then it's the Wazoo versus OSU matchups. Those go down being the Pac-12 championship games. And so far, the Cougs are 0-1 on the season against the Beavs. They went down for rounds earlier in the year and lost. And usually we say a laugher is when you kind of get blown out a little bit. This was a laugher because it was just laughable. Not the best game by any means. It was 10-7. The Beavers ended up winning that game. Jack Stevens had the game on his leg and ended up coming short, unable to get that field goal late in the game, tied up. So the Cougs 0-1 against the Beavers so far this year. But like we said, last game of the season, last game of these two teams will play in the Pac-2 era, the Pac-12 championship game. So coming into today's match, these teams very different from the two teams that faced each other earlier this year even. So what Davis arguing the keys to the game for both sides?
Yeah, that game in Corvallis was kind of a nightmare scenario for Washington State. There's a lot of opportunities down the stretch of the season that they've capitalized on. Louisiana Tech and Toledo getting those wins. If they beat Oregon State that first game, they're not even worried about a bowl game right now. They're worried about a better bowl game against the Oregon State Beavers. So the first key to the game would be attack. You got out dueled in a punt battle against Oregon State down in Corvallis. You have to attack. You don't want it to be a punt battle this game. You were 2 of 13 on third downs. The Beavers were 1 of 12, yet you lost that game 10-7. So kind of a boring game, if you will, for offensive fans. Defense fans, it was a pretty good game. Punt fest. It was really cold. It was an interesting game to say the least, but you got to be able to attack. You have to be aggressive. You can't settle for a punt. It's time and time again. Maybe you go for it. They're 0 for 1 on fourth down. Maybe you decide we're going to go all out. The second key to the game is play smart. Penalties huge. They gave Oregon State multiple free first downs instead of forcing them to be a third down conversion. I give them free first down. 10 penalties for 90 yards, including one that set up the field goal, which ended up being the difference in the game. And the last key to the game is help the defense out. You held Oregon State 1 of 12 third downs, only 10 points, 60 total passing yards. Yet Cougars lost that game. Defense ranked 37th in the nation this year. Offense ranked 117. So a lot of interesting things going on between teams coming on the field, coming off the field, different units. The defense has said we played great all year. The offense has said we're trying our best, but we just can't succeed. So it's going to be really interesting in this game to see if Washington State can come out and play offense like the defense has been playing the last couple weeks.
Of course. So Jimmy Rogers recently just said that, he said, quote, I feel like we could have been, should have been more aggressive, more creative the rest of the way. And from what you were saying, Davis, you think you're talking about the OSU game, but he wasn't. That was in regards to the JMU game that they just played, where they picked up a loss against that game 24-20 against the Dukes at James Madison. So, like you said, Davis, it's all about being more aggressive for the Cougs. Jimmy Rogers knows that. He knows coming to this game that's going to be the focus for him. So with that in mind, being more aggressive, who are going to be some of the key players, possibly standout players on offense for the Cougs?
Yeah, on offense, it's got to be a Kirby Voorhees show today. Trying to keep him around. That's been the big thing down the stretch of the season is, can we keep Kirby Voorhees in Pullman? A lot of players transferred out after last year. Only 3 returning starters, all from the offensive side. One of them being Josh Meredith, who's also going to have a big game today. So I'm looking for Kirby Voorhees and Josh Meredith. But Kirby Voorhees got banged up a little bit against James Madison. It looked like he hurt his hand a little bit. We're not exactly sure. The first 5 games of the year, 38 total carries since. Then the last 6, he's had 10 plus in each. He's got 86 carries since. And so he's over 100 carries on the season. He's got to be the main focus in this game for Washington State.
And basically, Kirby Voorhees and the other guy got lean on is Gavino Johnson. That's not somebody for the Cougs you want to be leaning on. He's only averaging 2.5 yards per carry. He's got 162 yards total. His longest one was only 21 yards. So it is Kirby Voorhees probably Gavino Johnson, and that's not a good sight for Cougar fans seeing down the field. But sometimes they get lost in the sauce a little bit when you're focusing on offense. But on the defensive side of the ball for the Cougs, who are going to be some of those key players?
Yeah, I think Isaac Terrell's going to be a game record today. 6.5 sacks. 5.5 sacks on the year, 10.5 tackles for loss. He's been a really strong defensive player for Washington State, trying to get those Oregon State quarterbacks off bounds. If it's going to be Malik Murphy, he hasn't had the greatest pocket presence this season. He's been sacked numerous times, negative 50-plus rushing yards on the year. If it's Tristan Tia, he's not the most mobile quarterback either. If it's Jabari Johnson, he can get around, but he's not an accurate throw. So you want to be able to force the Oregon State quarterbacks into that situation. That's going to be Isaac Terrell.
Absolutely. We're getting closer and closer to game time here. We have our sideline reporter, Nathan and Eshelman down on the field. Nathan, what do you have for us?
Thank you, guys. It is a brisk and cold day here in Pullman. It's going to be a dark and cold one as the weather right now sits about 30 degrees, but with a wind chill, it feels almost at 20 degrees with a lot of wind coming in from the right side of the stadium. That'll also be a factor in on both kickers. Ojeda for the Beavers has a lot of power, but his accuracy might be affected by the wind. Jack Stevens, who has struggled with a little bit of power this season, could get some boost and help going towards the Cougar football complex with the wind on his back. The crowd is pretty small here today. It's coming right out of Thanksgiving break, but the Cougar, for their final day at home with their seniors, will probably try to get as loud as they possibly can. That's it for me on the sideline. Back to you guys.
Like Nathan mentioned there, if you look out on the stands here in Martin Stadium at Piece Field, it looks as though someone drew a line in the sand. There's the fan section to the right, and the student section to the left. In the student section, as I believe we can probably count on our hands how many people are actually in the student section right now for the Cougs. Not that many. Not a lot of crimson and gray. We were joking before we went on air that actually OSU marching band, I believe, has more people in their little segment of the stadium right now. So definitely not the biggest attendance right now for the Cougs. Like you mentioned right there, it's a very cold day. It was 35 degrees, super windy. We were walking in today. We were getting that wind chill a little bit. It's definitely brutal. Definitely don't want to be Nathan down the field right now. So hopefully he's staying warm. We also mentioned there the quarterback situation for the Beavers. You mentioned it as well, talking about Murphy, Barry Johnson, or even Tristan Tia. So how is that quarterback situation a factor in for Beavers?
It's going to be a huge factor. Regardless of how much you run the football, you still need a quarterback. It's the most important position in football. There's a reason why the Heisman is always quarterback. The MVP is always quarterback. Very important position on the field. If it's Malik Murphy, he's the $1 million arm that hasn't really come to fruition this year. Maybe give him one last chance. See if he transfers out. If you want him back in, maybe you see if he can play again. They're both games. So you have one last game to show what you got, and maybe Malik Murphy is putting some tape out there for other teams to pick him up. Jawari Johnson, if he's ready to go, he's been banged up on and off this year. He's the guy that can use his legs. He's definitely a different style player than Malik Murphy. Neither of them that accurate. Then Tristan Tia, the freshman from Livermore, California, came in against Tulsa. They were down 31-0. He scored both touchdowns from inside the 5-yard line, slinging it out to Trent Walker and David Wells. But that's a guy that you don't want to have to put in this situation. That's just a freshman, but you're going to put anybody out there. If I were not making their interim head coach, I'd likely lean to the younger player that you want to try to develop for the next couple of seasons. But right now, Aki, he's not going to be the head coach going forward. They just signed the new head coach, Marcus Shepard. So at this point, it's going to be anybody's guess who's going to be out there at quarterback.
Absolutely. It doesn't necessarily matter who you might throw out there for as your QB. When you got a guy like Anthony Hagen, you can hand the ball off to. So like you said, they both Murphy, both Johnson, they don't have the best arm. So really, it's going to rely. The Beavers are going to have to rely on pounding the rock, on handball off to Henderson. Let him drive your team downfield. That's kind of what they did in that first game against the Cougs as well. It was Anthony Anderson had Hank the Tank just kind of pounded through the Cougar defense. So for the Beavers, if you can lean on Anderson a little bit, you try and get more the fact that your QB situation is a little bit up in the air. You can probably come away with the Pac-12 championship. And for the Beavers, there's a lot to play for here. If you win tonight, you sweep the Cougs in the entire path. You're 0-2-0 against them. You're 0-2 against them. But then again, one of the main things you got to keep in mind is the Beavers have yet to play in Pullman in this Pac-2 era. Both matches have been in Fort Vallis. And the Cougs have been red hot at home.
Absolutely. Washington is the only loss for this Cougar team, and that was the Apple Cup in September. That Washington team has been really solid. And for Washington State, you finally get the Beavers at home. Fort Vallis has been the kryptonite. I was there twice in the last 2 years, and it has just looked like a completely different team when they traveled down to Fort Vallis. So now you get the Beavers at home. This is really where you get your chance to say, hey, we're here. We're going to take this reins away from you. We're the best team in the Pac-12. Even though there's only 2 of us, it's us.
Absolutely. And the Cougs have played a few Pac-12 opponents as well this year. They played San Diego back in August, September 6th, actually, they played against San Diego State University. They also played against Colorado State. That's who it was. But Colorado State got a win against them as well. So the Cougs so far, they're 2-0 against those future Pac-12 opponents, minus the Beavers. Of course, the Cougs, when they're playing against the Pac-12 opponents, they're trying to set that tone when they head into the new look Pac-12. And so this is the years where it's been a little bit of conference